Hello, I'm making a tutorial on how to use a tool I made called Lighting Changer that lets you do dynamic lighting and other local effects for BOP and surf maps. So to start, I have start to a map here, and all I want to do is have this area be in a certain setting, and then in this area I want to change to a new setting. And what I'm going to do to show one way you can use this tool is I'm going to change the skybox when you go between these two spawns. Alright, so how do you use this? There is a README file that I included with the tool, but for the purpose of the tutorial, I'm going to assume that you already read it, and I'm just going to show a visual example of how you might set this up. So, what I need to do is first what I need to do is set the default values. So what you need to do, so if I'm just going to assume that you just put this folder into your bhop model, so you need to open it up, open up server script, and then open up player script, and we have map name here. The default value is bhop underscore test, that's the name of my map, but if I want to name a map something else, like this, I would need to change this map name to match this. So this is very important. This value needs to be the name of the model, otherwise the script will not work because it won't be able to recognize the map. Alright, next, there are a bunch of these default values. So what the script does is when it starts running, it's going to set all of these values while it's running. That's just the way it's set up. So also the script adds its own sky and color correction. So if your map adds either of these, you will want to delete them and replace these default values with the values that you would have had before. So let's say for my sky, I want slashes by shown to be off. That toggles the sun. So if like your skybox has a sun on it, then you don't want the default sun, you could toggle this off. And then I'm going to just copy paste these values in because I already have a skybox I want to use for this first part. I'm gonna go ahead and do this. And essentially once the game runs, it's going to replace the skybox values with whatever these default values are. And then next I'm going to show you how to make a new area without the default values. So by default, if you aren't under a part with the custom lighting changer properties, so in a part inside this folder, it'll use the default values. And this is explained in the README, but just going over this. So I guess I could show you what that means here. So let's say this is spawn 1, this is a teleport, or this should be a teleport 2, and then this teleports to this spawn here, and I want this area to have a different skybox, right? So what I need to do is create a part over this area that's just strictly over where the player is going to be. The script works by putting a ray over the player's head, and if it detects a part that is in the parts folder, so in here I'm going to minimize this and drag this in here, then it will try to read the custom properties of it from this paste into part, which I'm going to do right now, and it will set the properties of lighting or sky or color correction to whatever values I've set here. Okay, so I'm going to make this part invisible so that the player can't see it. I'm also make it can't collide false. Although the player shouldn't really, the idea is this needs to be above the player at all times, so they shouldn't be able to go above it unless you want it by design for some reason. But I'd also recommend you should try to only have one of these parts in here above the player at all times, otherwise the script might bug out a bit. I wouldn't recommend it. You could try it, it probably won't work though. Alright, so we have this part about the player, and it's got these custom values in here. So by default, or these paste in the part values are the same as the default Roblox values. But let's say since I'm only changing the sky values, right? I can just delete the color correction and lighting values because I'm not going to use them. And the script will know, it'll see if the lighting values aren't there, or if any, like, let's say I didn't want to mess with Celestial Biostone, I could just delete it, and it would revert to whatever default values I have set inside of here. So that is nice. I'm gonna put Celestial Biostone back in here. All right, so for my new skybox, I have this skybox, so I'm gonna paste these values into here real quick. And the idea is that once the player is under this part, the skybox will change to this new one. Alright, so in order to test it, I'm going to press play here, not run, but play here, because I need the player mod to exist for the script to work. Inside play here, we can enable FreeCam by pressing left shift and P, which can make testing this easier. It's WASD to move, and hold right click to aim around. I'm going to move over to this side, see if it works, and it does. The skybox does change to the new one, and we can move back here, see it changes back. You might have noticed on the first transition, it had like a half a second lag, but after the first transition, it will be seamless. The game just needs to load in the new images for the skybox. For the other effects like the lighting and any lighting or color correction effects are pretty much instant. The skybox in the first transition can be a bit laggy. But anyways, I hope this was a good demonstration of what you can do. I'll show you it working in game for you guys real quick. Alright, so here I have the map loaded in. I'm going to go through this teleport and you should see the skybox change. There we go. And like I said, it has a slight delay. So we can test this again. I'm going to restart and go through it. And you'll see that one is much more seamless. So you could try certain tricks to get the skybox to change earlier. Particularly if you had a ceiling above this, you could have the invisible part above here perhaps start earlier to get over that. Like I said, for the lighting changes and fog changes, they should be instant. You notice that the part above here only extends this edge, so if I go across here, I'll revert back to the default and then go under here. So just keep that in mind. You must have a part on top, otherwise it will stop working. To end this video off, I just want to do a quick showcase of some of the other values you can change. Every value you see in here or under the default values can be modified. This includes all of the properties of color correction. So for example, by changing saturation, you can make like a black and white effect or create a more vivid effect. Through lighting values, there's pretty much every important value here. If you want to have a nighttime part, you could change like ambient brightness and outdoor ambient and even color shift top to create that effect. I'm not gonna give a tutorial on how to make that effect. Just know that you can change any of these however you want them to be, right? And then same for sky values, as it just showed, you can change the skybox completely for different areas, and just to show that there's a lot of modular effects you can do. And the script should handle it all for you. You just have to change these values and put these values into the parts that go into this folder. If you guys find any bugs or issues, you can let me know. I'll drop my Discord into the description of this video, and you can DM me about any issues. Please have like an image or like some text or something that can help me. Help you fix that. And I'm looking forward to see what you guys can make with this, because I think this tool is very nice and it has lots of possibilities. So I'm really hoping that you guys have fun with it and make some cool stuff. Alright, I think that's all I've got to say. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys later.